Okay, let's just jump right in. What if the single biggest piece of financial advice you've ever gotten, save for retirement, is just wrong? Today, we're going to dive into a pretty radical philosophy that completely flips that idea on its head. It's called Die with Zero.
So this is the question, right? This is the core of the whole thing. I mean, think about it for a second. You work your tail off, you squirrel away money for the future, but what happens if, when that future finally gets here, you're not healthy enough or energetic enough to actually enjoy it? Could all that careful saving actually be your biggest mistake?
All right, so to really get why this isn't just some crazy, reckless idea, we first have to break down what the author, Bill Perkins, calls the retirement savings trap.
I mean, we've all had this drilled into our heads, right? Sacrifice now, grind it out, and then you can finally enjoy life in retirement. But here's the giant, glaring problem with that whole plan. Your health and your energy, they're not waiting around for your 401k to mature. It's like two lines on a graph going in opposite directions. As your wealth goes up, your physical ability to enjoy it, well, it's going down.
And look, if you think that's just some abstract theory, get this. The data is pretty shocking. The median 60-year-old in the US dies with 80% of their wealth still in the bank. 80%. That's not just a number on a spreadsheet, that is a huge amount of unlived life just left on the table.
And it turns out the real cost of saving too much isn't financial at all. It's regret. Studies of people at the end of their lives show the same thing over and over. They don't regret the money they spent on that incredible trip or that amazing concert. What they regret are the experiences they never had because they were always waiting for someday to come.
Okay, so if just piling up money for retirement is the wrong goal, then what's the right one? Well, it's a total mindset shift. Instead of trying to maximize your net worth, the new goal is to maximize your life energy.
So what the heck is life energy? Just think of it like this. It's your personal power to convert cash into amazing, memorable experiences. And it's not just about money. It's this special mix of your health, your time, and your resources all at one specific point in your life.
And this really gets to the fundamental trade-off of our lives, doesn't it? When you're, say, 30 years old, you've got all the health and energy in the world, but probably not a lot of cash. Fast forward to 75, and you might have the money, but your body just can't do the same things. The whole point here is to stop hoarding all your spending power for the one time in your life when you can least enjoy it.
So, the new goal is all about being strategic. It's not about mindlessly piling up cash. It's about being smart and spending your money at the right times so you can squeeze every last drop of enjoyment out of every single stage of your life.
Okay, but what should you be spending that money on? What kind of spending really maximizes that life energy? Well, this brings us to the absolute core of this whole philosophy, the power of experiences.
Now, here's a really cool, game-changing concept. It's called the memory dividend. Think about it like this. When you buy a new TV, it starts losing value the second you take it out of the box. But an experience, a great trip, that investment pays you back for the rest of your life in memories, in stories, in joy. It's an asset that actually grows over time.
And the best part is, you don't just get value once. You get value in 3 different phases. First, there's the anticipation, all that excitement leading up to it. Then, there's the actual enjoyment while it's happening. And then, you get to collect that memory dividend for years, even decades, every single time you remember it or tell someone about it.
This is exactly why timing is so crucial. Let's be real. A backpacking trip across Europe, that sounds amazing when you're 25. At 75, maybe not so much. A lot of the best experiences in life have an expiration date, and by investing in them early, you're giving those memories a whole lifetime to grow and pay you back.
All right, I know what you might be thinking. This all sounds great, but how do you actually do it without just being completely reckless with your money? Well, the answer is to stop thinking about a month-to-month budget and start thinking bigger in terms of a lifetime spending plan.
So instead of just blindly saving, this framework helps you match your spending to where you are in life. In your 20s and 30s, it's all about investing in yourself, building skills, traveling, forming relationships. Then in your 40s and 50s, the focus shifts to creating those peak family experiences. And then later in life, you start using your money for comfort, for convenience, and for thinking about your legacy.
Okay, now here's the part that's going to make most traditional financial advisors just short circuit. Your goal is not for your net worth to grow forever.
The actual plan is for it to peak somewhere in your 60s, and then you strategically and happily spend it all the way down to as close to zero as possible by the end.
So this obviously brings up a big question. What about inheritance? What about leaving money for your kids or for charity? Well, the philosophy has a really powerful answer for that, and it's called giving while you're living.
I mean, just think about how much more impactful this is. With a traditional inheritance, you're usually giving a big chunk of money to your kids when they're already like 60 years old and probably financially stable. But with strategic giving, you give it to them when they're 30 or 40, a time when that money for a down payment or to start a business could literally change the entire course of their lives. And the benefits go way beyond just the financial impact. You actually get to see the difference it makes. You get to share in their joy. It completely transforms giving from something that happens on a balance sheet after you're gone into a real shared living experience with the people you love.
Now, it's so important to get this right. This isn't a free pass to be reckless. It is the absolute opposite. It's about being incredibly deliberate and shifting your entire life's goal away from just mindlessly accumulating more stuff and toward consciously optimizing your one and only life.
This next quote really sums up the whole idea perfectly. Money has no value in and of itself. Its only real purpose is to be turned into life satisfaction. So if you die with $1 million in the bank, what you've really done is die with $1 million of unconverted, totally wasted life satisfaction.
So, we want to leave you with one final question to really chew on. When it's all said and done, when you look back on your life, what's going to matter more? The final balance in your bank account or the total richness of your memory bank?